Stay Alive is a survival horror tabletop role playing game with elements of violence, emotional trauma, biological infection, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident involved with package for perhaps we will continue to keep you informed.
Welcome to Stay Alive. Last we left our survivors, they were provided a unique opportunity as self-imposed isolates or periphery outcasts of Rescue Station Delta. With no deep or meaningful connections, no close friends or family stationed with them, they were provided an opportunity by one Dr. LeBend in a measure to fulfill the continuation of his research that the military was no longer assisting with. He provided passage outside the walls of Rescue Station Delta to these four individuals. Their mission was to travel a great distance away, finding themselves almost across the entirety of the country, looking to infiltrate and extract a specified sample from the CDC in Atlanta. Leaving from the southeastern section of California, the survivors had a great deal of ground to cover ahead of them and set out immediately, and on foot came across the first of what are presumably many scattered checkpoints and barricades that would be along their way. Unfortunately, it seemed that the Zerk, the infected outside the safety of the walls of the rescue station, had also gathered in the surrounding area, and they found themselves assailed by a rather large horde, the arrival of a rather unique specimen that they had not yet seen before, a mutation of the original virus, providing Zerk's speed that they hadn't yet seen before. Fortunately, through some quick thinking, some nimble movement, and a heavy foot on the gas pedal, the party made their way clear of the dangers of the barricade and found themselves on the road, headed to their destination. Unfortunately, the Zerk would prove to be only one of several threats they would face, as they were immediately pursued. Headlights behind them on the darkened and empty highway, their only telltale sign of other survivors in the area. Cautiously optimistic and quickly turning to defensive fight or flight, our survivors recognize that their now assailants were not intent on negotiating, trading, or offering some form of conciliatory exchange. Fortunately, with the assistance from Arthur, Josie was able to put a shot through the windshield of the vehicle pursuing them and ultimately put an end to their pursuit after their vehicle had been peppered with small arms fire. Though they did steer their way clear, and Rose proved a very capable driver, It did not come without a cost, as Rose took a round in the shoulder and is dealing with the associated blood loss as a result. Survivors of Rescue Station Delta. What happens next?
All right, Rose, we need to get that shoulder patched up. When you feel comfortable, pull over so we can take a look at it.
I will start to pull my foot off the gas, probably still a little bit in shock, but just very robotically pull my foot off the gas and let the car coast to a stop.
Okay. The hybrid electrical components immediately taking over, bringing your slow, declining speed into this almost silent crawl as the tires begin to crush some of the aggregated sand and rock on the side of the road. And you look down now to see that a small exterior wound, mostly superficial in nature, has since coated the clothing on the left side of your body with a great deal of blood, it would seem.
Yeah, this probably isn't very good.
No, it's not too bad. It looks like it's through and through. Should be able to stitch this up, no problem. Let me see what I got in my kit here. Could probably use a fishing hook and line. It's not gonna be comfortable, but it should do.
You're gonna put a fishing hook in my arm?
Your shoulder.
Okay. I will. This is gonna be really awkward, but I'm too terrified to get out of the car, so I'm going to try to dust whatever broken glass is still on me off, and then turn around in the seat, like get on my knees and turn around facing the back seat so that my shoulder is facing Arthur, so I can clutch the seat, like the headrest, with my other arm.
Okay.
Just
Rose, make for me an effort to harness your grit once again, providing a stable platform. If you are able to fight through the pain with Arthur using very specific tools that are functionally beneficial to this job, you can provide him the aid of being well prepared here.
This is grit or endurance? What'd you say?
This is grit.
Definitely taking pictures.
After like 2 pictures, I'm just gonna reach out and just put the camera away.
Oh, that's a
Not
4.
right now.
That's a 4. Okay. Rose is proving a bit of a tough egg, very much holding it together more than your average is likely to. However, there's a few jolts and shifts, even on your approach, that definitely lend itself to the nerves that she's likely experiencing right now. Arthur, go ahead and make a effort to apply first aid to Rose's injured shoulder.
That's a 4.
Okay. So, in combination with Rose's movement, the less than medical grade tools, the unnatural arrangement for which this procedure is being performed, you end up with a fair bit of blood on the center console area. It seems as if Arthur was successful in closing up what was ultimately not a particularly sizable wound. No bullet to fish out, but definitely some aches and pains that'll be persistent for quite some time. Rose, you're gonna add a hindrance of a -1 to all efforts you make in your athletics. And you're also going to have every effort to brawl be a desperate effort.
Cool. Okay. That's bad. I imagine yeah, okay. I'm just going to try to wipe my tears off on the headrest as quickly as possible and sit back down in the seat and just kind of like slump down a little bit.
Hey, you did amazing. Probably saved our lives there. That was some damn good driving. You want to rest a bit and I'll take over?
Okay.
All right. Here, I found this jacket underneath the seat. Should probably put it on since your top layer got a little holy.
That's a joke. It's a joke. Okay. And I'll put the jacket on.
Okay. What are the rest of our survivors doing?
Well, since we're stopped, does anybody need to use the bathroom or shake off any nerves before we get going again? Also, we didn't check the trunk of this vehicle.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, let me pop the trunk while we're doing a little fire drill here.
Little stretch of the legs.
Okay. Justin, you reach through the now entirely open and exposed window with no opportunity to shut it. The trunk pops open, and as you begin to swing around and move and back, before you even lift it entirely, you do recognize a humanoid leg visible in your eye line.
Okay, I'm gonna take 3 steps back as the trunk opens itself naturally.
Okay. Appears to be a give or take mid-30s or so male adult, seemingly still and lifeless in the trunk. The face and head area probably pressed up just against the back end of it, as if their face was kind of facing the right rear tail light. Their midsection and torso kind of the more visible section from your approach, and their legs sort of tucked into the opposite area of the wheel well.
With 0 medical training whatsoever, can I ascertain the cause of death?
Without approaching?
Just a quick once over. Are they like very clearly bled out from a wound, or?
I'll say go ahead and make an effort to notice anything of value here.
Okay. All right. Sure. It's a 3.
So you begin sort of peeking through, just barely getting a gauge for what might be at play here, and ultimately discover it seems like this individual died from a gunshot wound to the head. They don't appear active, living. There doesn't appear to be a ton of blood in the trunk, but nothing else immediately stands out to you of note or concern.
Cool. All right. Having ascertained this, I will just raise my voice ever so slightly so the rest of the group can hear me. So looks like we've got a body in the trunk, dead, headshot. Any reason I shouldn't just toss it on the ground and keep looking?
Nope. I mean, search him first.
Oh, good call. Check the pockets.
Wait. I'll come take a picture.
As she's taking a picture, my hands are already in the pockets. I'm not waiting.
That's even more real.
Okay.
Authentic.
Justin, make an effort to notice anything of value, and while you do so, I'm gonna have you make an effort in sociology as well, please.
Okay. All right. That is a 6 on my notice check.
Okay.
And -2 on my sociology check.
Okay. As you are patting down this individual, you don't see anything stand out to you that's uniquely of note other than the foundational things that anybody would use to store items, quick checking the pockets, doing a very vague kind of pat down. You do find in the right pocket of this pair of sort of light acid wash jeans a key. It appears to be an old school conventional key, but it is attached to a key ring that also holds what appears to be a digital slide card that you'd use at some kind of hotel or residence inn type of place. Other than the number 641, there's nothing written on it, and it does appear to be handwritten. Beyond that, the individual has a couple empty candy bar wrappers that, for some reason, were remained in the pocket. But this individual doesn't have a wallet, doesn't have any other useful items of note, largely devoid of any material goods.
Is
Bloodstains on the clothing?
I'm going to say none that you notice as being outside of the frame of how they likely died.
Okay. Just gonna take the shirt and the pants off, keep them in the trunk, put the body on the ground.
What about the shoes?
Oh yeah, keep the shoes too.
Definitely keep the shoes.
I mean, I don't want those shoes, even if they were my size. Like I'm gonna stick with my Jordans.
Well, I'll
but
take the shoes.
You're welcome
Okay.
to the shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else in the trunk? Maybe in the wheel well or anything like that?
Yeah, anything.
As you pull it up, it seems as if it has already been ripped. The spare tire is still in there. The jack
Okay.
portion of the complete set for the jack is still there, but the actual iron to lift and open it is gone.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll take the candy wrappers out. I don't want to litter, so I'll stick them in my pocket.
Sure.
And then I'll also hang on to the key and the key card. But now we've got an extra set of clothes in the trunk if we need them.
Okay.
Hope no one minds blood stain. It's kind of like tie-dye, right?
Rose is
No.
uniquely covered
Looks
at
like
the
it.
moment, so
Yeah, I'm literally just sitting in the front seat. Like I can hear them talking, but I cannot engage.
okay.
So is there?
Can I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go.
I was to say, is there anything around us that is of a significant note that we should maybe be seeing? If there are any other candy wrappers that maybe have candy in them, or things that would be less savory?
Make an effort to notice your surroundings.
I was going to ask about the same thing.
Okay, I'll have you make an effort as well.
At Aaron.
9.
Okay. Both of you get a very strong sense that you're beginning to travel upwards in altitude. You're likely going to have to valley down one way or the other, whether you take a northern or southern route the rest of the way. However, you can probably get a gauge for your sort of immediate surroundings that there isn't going to be a lot in the way of shelter in the very near future. At least nothing that you'd be conventionally used to. Beyond that, there is a great many yellow and reddish rock. There's almost no structure or infrastructure built up. You're kind of in an expanse where you're heading into the deeper desert without a lot of infrastructural stuff in the way. And for the last 15 or so miles that you've traveled, at least with no lights illuminating any of the offshoots or cross highways or county roads or things of that nature, where there might have been gas stations and fast food joints that you could stop off on just a couple short years ago, there hasn't been anything that's immediately lined the highway for quite some time. Food would probably be hard to come by out here, and shelter perhaps doubly so.
Well, not all food comes in wrappers. Can I use my Eagle Scout training to maybe try to find something to forage, maybe some dandelion greens or,
Okay.
something to chew on at least?
Sure. Let's say, go ahead and make an effort with your focus, I think, here. But you'll be well prepared using your Eagle Scout. We can say that works out well.
11.
Okay. So there is a little bit of time that you see Arthur begin to venture away from the vehicle. As Rose goes through the process of trying to harness some composure and get everything together, Justin still trying to make sense of what it is he stumbled across, and Josie staying tight to the car while looking to line up some archival shots and surrounding footage. Arthur, you disappear away off the main road and begin to slink into some of this high rock and very, very sparse and very, very thin tree coverage. Some of them are clearly meant to run a little bit dry, but even plants and vegetation are pretty few and far between in this area. There's a few different scrub brushes that you feel like you could probably get some immediate nutrients out of, but not very far away, probably no more than 100 or so yards from the vehicle. Even in the waning light, the darkness kind of fading just at the edge of your perception, you see a beneficial sign in the form of a rather large blooming cactus, both bearing fruit and likely nutritious water within. And based on the training that you've received and what you're aware of in terms of open world survival, are able to harvest both without too much issue. How much you can carry and how much you'd like to try and take is up to you.
I would like to take and carry as much as I possibly can.
Okay. So we'll say that you get enough cactus water to fill an entire standard canteen. And you'll have 3 prickly pears that are viable for consumption, though maybe not quite yet ripe.
All right, now we'll make my way back to the rest of the group.
Okay.
And while Arthur is out, I after resolving things with the trunk, I will just walk up to Rose and just kind of like leaning on the car door, just be like, "Hey, you all right?"
No.
You know, that's valid. That's valid. It's been hey, that was a rough one. I got something for you. I'm fish out one of my pieces of chocolate, hand it to her. Gotta keep your blood sugar up. So
Okay. Sure.
just snack on that, would you?
Sure. Do you think Josie's gonna take pictures of our bodies when we die?
Oh, probably. Yeah. No. My honestly, my hope is that when I go, I'm far enough away from Josie, and or there's nothing left, so that no photo evidence of my corpse exists. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Sure thing.
I'm just like holding the chocolate, not really eating it, just sitting there.
When I make my... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did we find anything in the backseat when Arthur was checking the car for things in the glove box? Did we, like, the pockets? Does this car have
so
pockets? Some do,
when
some
this
don't.
car was
Or under the
abandoned,
seat?
it seemed as if most of the viable inclusions were already stripped for that purpose.
I just want a map.
Doesn't
scope?
appear to be one in the vehicle.
Dang
Hold
it!
up. What year car is this? A lot of the more modern cars have built-in navigation systems.
It's probably like a 2011, 12-ish. It's not old, but it's not new.
Damn. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Eventually I'll get back into the car. I assume the gun is still just sitting in the back seat unless Justin took it.
I haven't touched it. I don't need it.
It's just sitting there.
Can I find a good stick? Like looking for like a good like.
Define
stick
for me
that's
a
been down.
good stick.
I'm like a kid on a camping trip who's like looking for a stick that's like for a walking stick. But of course, Justin is thinking, one, maybe it's helpful for walking, but two, if we have another occurrence of a Zerk hopping through a window, I can just poke him with the stick as opposed to,
Sure.
kick
There
him
are
and
thin
punch him.
trees. As far as something that would at least prove a halfway viable weapon, it's going to be pretty thin. Rocks that are approximately palm size would certainly be in a little bit more ample abundance. But anything that would fall under the category of your typical I'm 11 and we're camping and I want a walking stick / something that might be a reasonable weapon against a Zerk, probably not likely to find here. Go ahead and make an effort to notice something of use in this area.
Okay. That is a 4.
Yeah, and despite the heir apparent nature of your environmental surroundings, you persist on, begin to at least scavenge around, not taking too wide a circle from the vehicle, but don't come across anything that you're looking for specifically. Again, rocks, ranging in a variety of sizes, probably a plenty viable, easy thing for you to snag, but nothing in the way of a stick.
Okay, well, I'll just fill my backpack with rocks. And that way I've got something.
Okay.
It's like
However,
10
Justin,
pounds of rocks in there, maybe. Yeah. Yes.
while you are on your periphery sweep, probably some distance off to the north, it's extremely difficult to tell as dark begins to descend and limited cloud cover provides you some very obvious starlight, moonlight illuminating some of the rocky-ish / desert terrain. But at some distance away, clearly on the other side of a small rise, you see what appears to be a rather large fire burning.
Okay. Cool. Just take note of that. Just like the general direction.
Sure.
Return to the vehicle, and once everyone is back and congregated, I will share that information.
Okay.
When I get back to the vehicle, I'd like to just walk over to Rose and hand her the canteen and just kind of kneel down beside her and say, "Hey, so you got a little something. You should probably eat that. Lost a little bit of blood."
Chocolate does anything for blood loss. I'm not a doctor, but
Gotta replenish. Also, drink some of this. And I hand her the canteen with the cactus water.
okay. Can we leave?
One moment.
Okay.
All right. Do me a favor here. Take a deep breath. You just went through some traumatic shit. Your brain's gonna need time to process that, whether it's now or later. And when that time happens, you need to just let it happen. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to bottle it up, because it'll just make things worse down the line. Trust me. I know.
How do you know?
I've seen some shit too. Maybe one day I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
But when that time comes, if you need a shoulder, and I will go and hop in the driver's seat.
Okay. So,
We ready?
Josie, you are just finishing getting back to the vehicle. Justin returns to find the gun in place, but perhaps at some distance away, a fire yet burning. Rose coming to peace or exploring the lack thereof, and Arthur having returned with some provisions, ultimately ready to carry on when the rest of the survivors come calling to do so. Does anybody have anything else they intend to do?
We don't currently see any split of the road from where we are here, do we? It seems to just continue in the
Just
same
keep going.
direction.
Correct.
Okay.
And Justin, you said you pointed out the fire.
Yep. As soon as all four of us are back in the same place, I'm like, hey, went for a walk. I didn't find any good sticks, but I did see a fire out there.
Sticks?
You know, just like if I needed to hit a zombie or something.
Rocks are better.
Well, yeah, I got rocks, and there's a big fire. Like I saw
Fire,
it from very far
right.
away. It's that direction. I pointed the direction. Just figured I would share that information.
Sure.
We don't have to go there.
Can we get a gauge of how far away it is? I know it's really hard to do that on the flat west.
Yeah, without a reference point, it's definitely tough. But you can make an effort
Okay.
to focus on the fire from a distance and see if you can get a better gauge.
Okay. 8.
Okay. Best guess, the fire is contrasted very heavily on the blackness behind it and the dark of night. It's probably at least the better part of a half mile, maybe a little bit more away.
Okay. It's a little closer than I was expecting. It doesn't look that far.
Looks to be a little bigger than a campfire, but probably not like a structural fire.
Don't suppose anybody has any guesses as to I'm saying this as I'm going to take a picture, and I'm trying to zoom in to see if I can get a better idea of like what it might be, since it's not campfire size, but also not like a structure. But as I'm trying to take pictures / just kind of investigate a little more closely, I don't suppose anybody has an idea of what something between a campfire and a burning building might be. Does it look like
How
a burning
close do you
car?
want to get, Josie?
Oh, I mean, I'm not getting closer. I'm zooming in with my camera. I am in the car.
Whatever it is on the opposite side of the crest that
Sure.
prohibited Justin from really getting any immediate gauge. So you can zoom in and see the fire more clearly, but there's really not much to make out in the way of details on that.
Well, if I had to guess between a bonfire and a house fire, I'd say a funeral pyre, maybe.
I was going to say a dumpster fire, but I think that's a lot more accurate.
I'll say, for the sake of clarity, it's probably not super likely that there'd be a dumpster to have out here unless you brought it out with you. So
fair point.
Your options are probably
limited
clarity in some capacity. You're looking at a lot of kind of rocky desert before it transitions into sort of a full sand, open air terrain.
First things first, how much gas does this car have left in it?
Fair question.
So, jamming the fob into the ignition source, looking to turn on at least the electrical within the vehicle. Hard to say, obviously, with any kind of exact certainty, but you'd probably be looking at having consumed about half of what you did at your push away from when you first found the vehicle. You probably got another 100 and change or so miles left.
Suppose anyone knows where the nearest gas station is?
Probably nowhere near, but we'll push on. We'll do what we can.
Should we go check that out, though?
No.
Feels dangerous. I was really just saying this, that we had an idea that there's some people in that general direction.
We've already had one run in with some of the locals. I don't think we are quite ready for another.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm going to reach for the gun that's on the seat in the back seat, and I'm going to delicately pick it up, and I'm going to try to hand it to Arthur. My turn's over.
I'll take it back,
Thank you.
put the safety on,
Oh,
just
yeah,
kinda look
that
at
that
it
definitely was, yeah. Mhm.
and just tuck it in my small of my back.
Okay. Is anybody doing anything else before the survivors get back onto the road?
Uh,
I'm just gonna clutch my raccoon backpack in this giant coat I'm wearing and pull up.
I'm guessing we would have noticed already because we traveled quite a bit. We traveled a bit after.
Yep.
Okay. All right, never mind then. I was going to say, give the tires a quick check, but if we haven't noticed something by
A
now,
cursory
they're fine.
kick seems to reveal that they're at least in standing order, not likely to
Sure.
fall off the vehicle immediately.
Sure. I'm going to keep looking towards the fire. I was outvoted. So I'll just keep watching. We are a
You're your
democracy
own
in this
person,
group.
whatever you would like to do.
Yeah, that seems like they won't wait for me. So I'm just gonna, but okay. I do have one more question. Does it look like we could take the car? Is it
It would
clear
be
enough?
riskier than going on foot, but you probably could.
You said half a mile. It's not that far-ish. We don't have to go the whole way. I just a little, just to get a better idea of what's going on. I'm not changing any bullets, am I?
I would
Damn
much
it.
rather get on the road and hopefully find a gas station. Personally,
Same.
Fine.
would you like to eat leaves for dinner?
Well, I found these prickly pears, but they're not quite ripe yet.
Would you like to eat leaves for dinner, Josie?
You already know the answer to that, Justin.
Then why don't we hit the road and see if we can find something that isn't leaves to eat?
Okay.
All right then.
We're just gonna take distance pictures. This is gonna be grainy and unfocused.
So the car eventually whirring back to life. The rest of you buckling in or getting situated or whatever it is your individual stage of readiness looks like. Eventually getting the car in gear and moving back on the road again. Pushing now through desert air. Is there anything any of you are looking to do during travel?
To try to conserve a little more gas, I'm gonna set the car to 50 on cruise control.
Okay.
So, anybody know any jokes?
Yeah, I actually got a
Don't
whole
give-
list of them.
don't.
No, do you know one of my jokes? It's fine.
They're great jokes. They're great, Justin.
Look, I used to do this.
Well, it's either jokes or uncomfortable silence.
All right, Justin, give us your best joke.
All right, so guy was traveling along the road one day, came across a river. Of course, he gets to the river, and on the other side, he sees there's another individual across the river, and so he stops and he kind of shouts out across the river. He's like, "Hey, man, how do I get to the other side of the river?" And of course, the guy like, he's got to shout it a couple times because, you know, it's a river. It's a large river. So the other guy on the opposite side of the river, eventually he understands this and he replies. He's like, "What do you mean? You're on the other side."
Hmm.
I got
Lean
more.
against the window and pretend to go to sleep.
Okay. So, for better or for worse, Justin carries on looking to streamer chat it up in the ride forward, pushing on for a good period of time. Ultimately, Arthur, you do see a sign and take note as a decision likely has to be made. There is currently a diverging pathway. You'll have to make a decision as a very generalized landmarker highway sign suggests a split comes up now, determining the difference between Santa Fe and Las Vegas. One route to your location, hugging the southern portion of the trip there, again connecting back up a little further east, but you'll be pushing through a densely populated area that likely has a little bit more in the way of resources and electrical supply on its own, or a sparse population, but probably a very definitive dearth of resources as well.
All right, folks, we've got a choice to make.
How much
Justin?
gas do we have?
Probably have another 75, 80 miles.
I mean, I'm open to stopping. I think we just do a little slow down, just see how it looks, and if it looks good, we'll actually stop. And if not, you know, we'll just keep going.
Rose, I know you ain't sleep over there.
We need gas, and I don't know. Maybe there will be other things in Las Vegas, like maps. Tourists go there.
That's a good point.
Does the sign indicate that we would hit Vegas or Santa Fe first?
I believe Vegas is going to be substantially closer, but they're more so just mile markers to
Sure.
demonstrate larger road marks. So Vegas would probably be close to within your range just on the tank that you got. You've probably already pushed in through the border before the split takes place, and it's just a question of whether or not you're kind of carrying on at this slight, mostly eastern nudge north, or basically diverting very, very hard south.
We should go to Vegas because even if something happens, we're more likely to find another car there, right? Than in the middle of nowhere.
We're more likely to find a lot of things, good and bad.
Think
than in
about
the
all
middle
the
of
pictures
nowhere.
you can take.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. I don't really know if I have specific feelings one way or the other, although you do bring up a good point.
Vegas was a cesspit before all this happened. I can only imagine what it's like now, but you got a point. There's bound to be more resources there.
I used to watch The Walking Dead. We just gotta disguise ourselves like zombies, and it'll be fine.
And then we'll just find hot showers after that too.
Hmm.
All the
What
people
will it
that
be?
were performing there died there. So like maybe there's gonna be a zombie Barry Manilow or zombie Celine Dion or
Zombie Penn and
We
Teller.
need to go to Vegas. We need to go to Vegas.
because of zombie Celine Dion.
I'm going to gesture to my camera. Yes.
I bet Zombie Celine Dion has the prettiest growl you've ever heard.
Vegas
just
is my
gonna-
vote.
Pass back the canteen of cactus water if Justin and Josie want any.
All right, Vegas it is. Gonna steer us towards Vegas. And as
All right.
we're going, if we come to the top of any like large inclines, I want to put the car in neutrals and let us coast down to try to squeeze a little extra gas out of that tank.
Okay. So going maximum possible efficiency. At this point, though, when you take the off ramp to push yourselves towards Vegas, basically avoiding the entirety of the Phoenix, Arizona, New Mexico sort of southern pathway, looking to skirt just through the lower portion of the mountains and find yourself in a little bit more of a neutral hemisphere for the rest of your journey eastward. It seems as if the terrain immediately almost segues into this rather steep and sharp alternating back and forth that both allows you to utilize putting the car in neutral, but also very quickly causing you to almost have to amp a little bit just to make sure that you're squeezing some of the efficiency out. Nothing too steep or treacherous, but all of you can feel this very subtle shift in temperature, spending about 12 to 15 or so minutes slowly ascending, immediately feeling the G-forces lessen slightly as Arthur shifts into neutral, and then take another 15 to 20 or so minutes coasting down in a much more casual demeanor at a very shallow incline. But pushing on just the same. Another hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Not making particularly good time, but certainly focused on conservation for your fuel, maintaining safe driving. You see something very, very unique and untoward in the distance. The blackness of night, absolutely the only thing you've seen for some time. The moon's reflectivity off of some of the mountains protruding around the roadside, and some of the fence work holding the rocks in place where these once unstable areas warning of collapse and roadway hazards seem to have held. Very few people having gone up into the mountains has caused a relatively limited amount of swerving or having to navigate around abandoned cars, vehicles, and the like. But as you pass over this last shift in altitude before a very obvious and overt descent back down through a small valley before pushing into the flats of a desert beyond, you see Las Vegas itself in the distance, illuminated like business was open. Not a single hotel, not one casino, a city seemingly still largely illuminated, running off the latent and self-sustaining power from the nearby Hoover Dam, the city's contract specifically set up to draw power into the otherwise barren and isolated desert. Vegas has power and is open for business.
You know, if any city was going to still have power, in the apocalypse. It would be Vegas.
It would be Vegas. Yeah.
I'm sure that somewhere in the city there's still like a poker table that's going right now.
I'm not
Set
sure
up.
if that's reassuring or makes me more nervous.
Well, as you begin to coast into view of the city, the AM radio station that Rose originally turned on begins to kick on. It seems as if there is a standardized rotating broadcast.
Radio for instructions and information concerning community services.
Nothing in the way of news or
The length of
information
your
that
stay
you
from a day
find
or two
useful,
to 4 weeks, depending on the extent of the
but there is a
contamination.
display source, a broadcasted signal
Stay
from
away from damaged areas,
somewhere that you've
areas
entered
marked
into range of.
radiation hazard or hazmat.
Probably even beyond the city, as the AM band can travel some great distance.
Lighting may be evacuated to
But
unaffected areas with
you are now picking something up on the radio as well.
Stay away from damaged areas and areas marked radiation hazard or hazmat. Fallout shelters can be any
What do you think the odds are that they are as friendly as our lovely driving friends were?
The more distance and time you put between you and the fallout particles,
50-50 chance.
That has to be on a loop, right? There's no way somebody's been sitting in that station for 14 months, hitting the rotation manually. Right?
you shouldn't leave your shelter until officials say so. Protection from radioactive
Well,
Only one way to find out.
and we're too.
All we need is a gas station. That's all we need.
Yeah. Find us the closest gas station we can and
Maybe some food.
maybe some food.
Like we can stop at the edge of town. We don't have to go all the way
Right.
in.
I think that
Arthur.
might be.
Actually, I'll say anybody who is so inclined, go ahead and make an effort to notice a roadway or gas station or some type of location where you can gain sustenance from.
10.
8.
12.
Okay, so in between trying to make sure that his shoes are blood free, Justin is poking his head up, but otherwise sees nothing of note.
Smudge.
Josie and Rose, both of you see, even on the completely unlit side of the road, the reflectivity a little bit out, a little bit distant, but still just enough for the pair of you to notice. You're very much near a small highway off-ramp where it seems as if there's a pair of gas stations that might provide a shot. There appears to be a couple small motels listed on, and it seems to be one of the waypoints in between this stretch into the mountains and the short burst of desert across before you ultimately find yourselves pushing in through Vegas proper. Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to notice the same sign as well. Immediately as you turn to your fellow survivors to go on and think, you see a different reflection in the distance. You've been focused on keeping an eye out for cars and vehicles and things of that nature, but this is different. There is a stack of 2 vehicles pointed nose to nose in the road ahead. Seemingly a large truck parked nose in front behind them, forming this almost triangle shape of these vehicles, meaning to reinforce something in the way of a makeshift barricade. What would you like to do?
And I'm guessing there's probably no going around.
The roadway itself is either mountainous or provides you very little in the way of stability. And before you go into this final descent now, you are looking at a sloped roadway down a much quicker path of descent if you want to veer off course. You'd be sliding down a mountain in a way that a car is not designed to do.
Well, we can stop here, then go down and investigate, because this is clearly a trap of some sort. Or at least a blockade or way station or something. Or we can take the quick way down. Don't recommend it though.
Do this.
What was that?
Why would somebody block the road?
So that people like us have to stop.
I think the
What?
question is, are they trying to keep people out or in?
Maybe they're nice, and maybe they don't want people stopping because they're gonna take all their stuff or something. Maybe they're not that bad.
Maybe.
And by that, I guess I mean they're not Zerg.
Sometimes that's better, sometimes that's worse. I mean, I don't think this car is going to make the go-around option possible, and whether we like it or not, we're almost out. We're gonna be out of gas eventually. I think it's worth at least trying to get to the closest gas station. I don't know if there's going to be... Surely there's something there that can help us siphon it back in. We can carry it. I don't know, but...
Carry it in what? What?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out when we get there, I guess.
All right. So do we want to just roll up on it, or do we want to park and walk down?
How far is the gas station from here?
Probably just off the off-ramp. It is the roadway up ahead that appears to be blocked. So whether you get back on or try to find some strange abstract route around it through extremely undeveloped mountain roads, you could certainly try to go that route.
Well, didn't these cars have to get here somehow? They didn't push them here. Do you think there's any gas left in these cars?
I mean,
That's definitely possible,
You have a hose?
but I think the risk we run there is a combination of, if this is a trap, it's a trap to keep us from taking their things. And this would, I think, constitute as taking their things.
Okay, so are we all gonna go, or how does this work?
we don't all have to go. If you want, I can just try to go down. I'm not the most graceful, but I don't mind going.
Are you stopping the vehicle at this point, Arthur?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
and
don't
killing
think
the lights.
anybody should be going alone. I don't mind to go with you.
I don't have anything to hold stuff in. This raccoon is not built for liquid.
God, that's what that is. Couldn't tell.
Yes.
It was... It doesn't matter.
Actually,
Justin, I stand by. I don't think anybody should be alone. So I think
I agree.
staying with Rose is probably the best idea.
No,
Unless you'd rather go.
I'm happy to hang out. I'm happy to go. whatever is most helpful.
We should probably chug that water. And you can put the gas in the canteen, right?
Well, then our drinking water will taste like gasoline. But I do have this here bag that I found the jacket and dungarees in, and probably hold quite a bit of liquid in that, as long as it doesn't eat through it or get punctured.
That's a good idea.
What kind of bag is it? It's like a duffel bag?
It's like
Like
a
it was like
clothing
a-
bag.
I thought it was air
Like a garment bag? It's
tight.
like
Yeah, like
plastic
a
kind
like
of?
a
was like
vacuumed
plastic.
garment bag.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was a
So
duffel
it's
bag. I was
a
like, "Ooh."
thicker plastic, but
It'll
it's
work.
probably not a liquid shuffling bag, but it probably would hold some liquid if you were careful about it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, a bag of gas is not something I would recommend. It's not exactly safe, but we don't really have a lot of options right now.
It's like boxed wine back in college. It's fine.
Who
I would
is
say good
venturing
times.
forward?
All right, I'm gonna park the car, take the fob, take Rose's hand, hold on to these. If anything happens, you get the two of you out of here. You hear? It'll be all right. You got this.
I don't got this.
Justin?
I believe in Rose, but I'm also happy to hold on to the keys whenever.
All right, well, here you go.
I'll hold on to him for Rose. How about that?
Well,
If you find a hose and we can use that to siphon gas in the future,
can
I used
also
to
just
do
cut
that with
one
my
of the
fish tank.
hoses out of the engine block.
Also that.
Like we do that on the way out.
All right, Josie, if you can, try to keep your camera shuttering to a minimum, please.
I make no promises. I will get out of the car.
Okay.
I will take the semi-automatic pistol from out of my small of my back, take the safety off, and just kind of look at it a little too long. Take a tactical grip and start to walk towards the vehicles.
The door opens. The dome light kicks for a brief moment. You find yourself on the outside. The air is cold and chilly. Just moments before perfect windows down weather, but now the open and shattered window has proven to be a little bit of a drawback, especially at speed. But probably the better part of a couple hundred yards away, providing yourself a gap in distance. You can still maintain visual on the very, very small, difficult to notice reflectivity, a small spot of light standing out on one of the bumpers of the vehicles that first caught your eye. Locking into it as a gauge and metric for your travel here to there. Are either of you looking to take a particularly stealthy approach?
I'll try to be a little stealthy, try to use the shadows to my advantage as much as someone my size can.
Before we get too close, I'm not gonna look at Arthur. I'm still looking forward. You know how to use that. I mean, I figured you knew how to use that based on what the doctor said, but you know how to use that.
I know how to use it. it doesn't mean I'm good or want to.
No, I get that.
Quite frankly, I think you're probably a better shot than me. What you did back there, moving cars, that's impressive.
Yeah, I've never shot at anything other than a Zerg before, so.
Glad you got my back.
I'm glad you've got mine.
Please, both of you, make an effort to be graceful on your approach.
Like 30 seconds after they leave the car, I jog over and hand them the key and the key card that I found on the dude from the trunk. Just like, hey, I don't know where these go to, but just like, if you want to try them, be my guest. And then I jog back to the car.
Okay.
Oh, it's Kiwi approaching cars, but I don't,
Yep, cool. That was Grace. That was a 6 for me.
Okay.
3 for me.
Oop.
Okay. So, as you begin moving forward, the high air of the mountain swirling. Not quite a bitter cold, but definitely an uncomfortable one. None of you entirely ready for open air traversal through mountainous terrain. But continuing to move forward, there is a very, very thin layer of amassed moisture and almost the very fringes of snow building that sees your footprints linger behind you for just a couple seconds with each step you take forward. You see a few leaves kicking across the highway, and as both of you get within range to see these vehicles, you see almost casually, as if to suggest there is zero concern or interest, a figure open the door from the truck that's facing you. Step out of the vehicle, close it, place both their hands on top of it, and begin staring at you from behind the safety of one of the nose-in vehicles. You're probably still another 100 or so yards away. What would you like to do?
Well, if there's one, there's probably more.
Yeah. I'm not going to take a picture, but I am going to look around and see if, especially around the car areas, like to see where people might be able to pop out from. Less about seeing if I can see other people, but more about where should I anticipate those people coming from.
Make an effort to notice any built-in alcoves for hiding.
That's an 11.
Okay. Arthur, are you making any modifications to your approach?
Yes, now that I know that we're being watched, where there's one, he seems very casual. There's probably somebody with a rifle trained on me right now. So I'm just going to very obviously raise my hands and put the pistol back in the small of my back and raise my hands out again.
Okay. As soon as you put your firearm away, put your hands up and begin taking a few small steps forward. Both of you are quickly hit with a large spotlight that you hear shift on. Not the kind of light that would be tied to or associated with a vehicle. Rose and Justin, just another 100 yards beyond them, you would see this light kick on as well, as you now see these black silhouetted forms of Josie and Arthur taking slow and measured steps forward. Justin and Rose, are you doing anything right away?
Oof. I'm guessing if we run at this point, they're gonna shoot us. Is that probably a safe assumption, Arthur?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. All right. Great.
Your view forward is now obstructed in detail, as it seems the positioning of the light is inherently designed to tactically obscure your ability to take in detail and substantially hinder you when it cuts back off again if you approach at night, as your dark vision will be destroyed. As you begin to continue to take these steps forward, you eventually hear a voice. Little further. Not too close.
I think you can turn the light like down just like a little bit.
Doesn't have a knob.
That's inconvenient.
10 more feet.
How am I supposed to know what 10 more feet is?
You can count, can't you?
I hate him already.
Howdy there, friend.
Howdy.
We're
What,
just,
got you, pushing all this way? Looking to strike it rich, huh? Heading to Vegas. Getting married, maybe.
not so much. Just trying to survive, looking for some food, a little bit of shelter, maybe.
Oh, sure,
Bare
yeah.
necessities.
Absolutely. How you coming along? You finding everything all right? You making a go of it out here?
Been a little rough. Not gonna lie. A few Zerks.
Oh.
Savory folk.
Well, sure. You seem like capable folk, though. Why don't you go ahead and do me a favor? Go ahead and toss that pistol out here.
Can't you just let me keep it where it is? That's the only thing we have.
Oh, I could. I definitely could, but, something tells me maybe that's not in my best interest.
Hey, when I approached and I saw you, I went ahead and put it away. I didn't brandish it. I didn't threaten you. My hands up, we come in peace.
Oh, sure. I'll tell you what, friend. You go ahead and throw that pistol there in the Switzerland between us. Make this a neutral conversation, and I'll go ahead and turn this light off there for you. What do you think, huh?
Sure.
All right.
And I'll take it out. And before I throw it over, knowing that the last round is already in the chamber, I will eject the magazine. I'll make sure I just show him like the butt of it, and I'll put the magazine in my pocket, and I'll just slide the weapon.
Not even loaded.
Can we turn the lights off now? Maybe.
Sure.
That'd
And
be
you hear
great.
you hear the click of the light powering down.
Oh,
There you go. How's that?
I must say your hospitality is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we're not visiting my home, so technically you're not a guest,
Use that thing to do some tanning in your off time.
Oh, well, I get into all sorts of things in my off time.
I'm sure.
And the figure begins to then walk from behind the vehicle, your eyes still adjusting to this extremely bright light, creating this cascade of dim silhouettes layered on top of one another. And the figure comes out in front of the car and begins taking steps slightly forward. Bends down, grabs the gun, and kind of jostles his finger into the mag well. Wow. Sets it over on top of the opposite vehicle that he was standing behind. So now we can talk as friends. Why don't we just make sure that you keep your hands right there where I can see them. And you see him slide one of his hands behind his back. And we just all stay friends, yeah?
What is the distance between me and this person?
About 10 feet.
I'm gonna do a quick glance. Any movement? I mean, I know I'm still it's probably still adjusting, eye-wise, vision-wise, but quick glance to see if it looks like anybody's planning on joining this delightful host.
I'll say that you
Same.
can make an effort to focus in a moment of desperation.
Okay.
I would also like to take a little gander
Oh
around.
no. Oh no.
I'll give
skis.
Arthur a notice at desperation in this moment. Well, I'll give you focus if you want. I'll let Arthur choose.
Take notice.
Boo hiss. Okay.
Mhm.
Mine's a 1 for focus. It would have been that much higher for notice. I did not
6.
roll well.
Okay. No immediate assailants present themselves to you. Your eye line remains devoid of any figures that seek to threaten your immediate surroundings. The small little nooks and crannies, the hidey holes, some of the twisted rock formations nearby that you picked up moments before, Josie, before you were blinded by the light on your approach. Paying special attention to dial in and focus on these areas yields nothing in the way of immediate assailants either. It seems as if this individual presenting themselves for the moment is alone. But
I like
after
that.
setting the pistol on the car, it begins to take small steps forward, one hand still placed behind his back. So, nobody ever comes up here carrying what's of value. Food, water, ammunition, protection, communications equipment, a working vehicle. They always leave it back behind. Not looking to risk it, I guess. Doesn't surprise me. Makes sense. What's your name, friend?
You can call me Art.
Art. And what about you? Little Miss Sassy Pants over here.
That you may not call me.
Well, better have something to replace
Josie.
it then.
Josie is fine.
I would like to start to cough kind of aggressively, and as I'm coughing, I just want to use that to just like move like maybe a foot forward.
Okay.
It's funny that you say that because I was going to try to separate us this way.
Arthur, make an effort to influence the judgment of your would-be assailant. I'm not going to make it a desperate act, but
Jeez.
okay. So, as you see Art begin to double over, bending down, You see this figure now presenting themselves, and with your eyes adjusting, wearing this almost woolen pilot's hat. Sort of the large Kodiak fur and ear flaps that fold down around. A pair of what appear to be dark welding goggles, maybe, something in that vein, draped around the neck, and a rather scraggly, unkempt beard that appears dark, at least in the surrounding environment for sure. Weathered face, clearly a little bit of a burn in from significant exposure to the elements, especially in harsher terrain, but not much in the way of detail you can make out, other than what is now a rather hefty and substantial winter coat, and what appears to be a well-equipped and mountainous ready travel gear. But as Arthur is coughing, the figure takes about a half step forward. Oh, Art, don't worry. The cold air gets to everybody up here. But I should let you know I'm not looking to hurt nobody. I don't want to cause any problems or have any issues, or we're gonna need some of the things you got so we can get by. Do you understand? Need you to know, Art, I got nothing against you. And I'd prefer this be clean and easy. We don't like hurting no one. I promise you that. We gotta look out for ours, same as you.
When he says we, do I believe that they are a we?
Make an effort to apply your sociology to the exchange.
I'm not even gonna roll that.
That bad?
Yep.
Okay. He didn't seem to be obscuring any of his communication or intent.
Well, friend, we're also not aiming to do no harm or hurt nobody. We don't really have much to give you. If you need some first aid, I can apply that.
He's good at that.
Know a thing or two about fixing things and foraging. So if you need something repaired, I can offer to help with that. But that's other than the clothes we got on our backs.
We got people for that, Art. You please understand. I mean no offense when I say this, but we're gonna get what we're after here.
And what is it that you're after?
Whatever we need.
And what is it that you need?
Whatever you got.
I'm gonna pull some lint out of my pocket and throw it in front of me. There you go. That's all we got.
Justin and Rose. I'm gonna need both of you to make an effort to focus on your surroundings with the anxiety of the moment unfolding in front of you.
Okay. We can see, especially when the lights maybe came on, or I'm not sure if it was when they came off. We can see that Josie and Arthur are engaged with somebody, correct? Like if there's something exchange. Okay.
Yeah. You can, at a distance with your night vision thrown off, you can't really make out a lot of clarity. You can vaguely see the three silhouettes.
Okay. 12.
5.
Okay. Justin is transfixed on the exchange unfolding. Rose, as you are sitting there staring at the windshield, holding onto your shoulder, you hear rocks shift down the mountainside just outside the vehicle. Focusing on it for a brief moment, you hear what you can only describe as a bit of a shifting footstep somewhere outside of your eye line.
I want to. We're in the vehicle. Are we in the two front seats?
I
assume.
believe Rose was pretending to be asleep and kind of nursing in back. I don't think we got an idea of where Justin was specifically.
I think for the duration of this excursion, we would be in the two front seats.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And I will note that the doors are locked.
Okay.
They left, I got back, and I locked the doors.
Okay.
Slide as slowly down as possible into the seat. Justin, there's somebody outside. There's somebody outside.
Okay.
Get them.
Right, fine. I'll slide down in the seat.
Okay. Kicking back over to Arthur and Josie. It seems as if your new friend is cordial enough, but have made their intentions somewhat clear. Do either of you want to do anything right away?
All right. Well, what do you want? I ain't got much.
I already gave you what I have. It's on the ground. You can pick it up. I can check the other pocket if you want.
He turns around and begins walking back towards the car that he was first hiding behind. Reaches in through a broken passenger window to the driver's seat. Pulls out a small walkie-talkie. Go ahead, check him out. And Rose and Justin, with Rose having already alerted you to the immediate surroundings, you hear this very faint electrostatic whisper, something to represent the squawk of communication cutting out across a short distance. And immediately you feel a bump against the back of the car. But don't immediately see anybody. The floorboard underneath, you hear this slight tink, 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 almost crawling up the length of the vehicle. Do either of you want to take an immediate response? Another brief moment goes by. The ticking underneath the vehicle seems to come to a stop. Until you hear this loud, overt scraping from underneath the vehicle as both of you watch figures stand up, pushing from underneath the car. One individual wearing what appear to be large dollar store style gold framed sunglasses with pink lenses, an extremely long, scraggly beard, dirty and dried, split, chapped lips, looks in and appears to be holding some kind of small automatic pistol, Uzi-styled weapon. And Rose, opposite your side, a little bit larger, probably on the semi-hefty, husky-ish side, another figure large in stature for sure, but wearing a rather cheap costume city-style clown mask. Some of the hair sort of dirty and drifted, small cuts in various places and portions, clearly some kind of mixture of terror-inducing and minimalistic environmental protections, but immediately leans on the edge of the window. Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Evening, officer.
No, we're all friends here. Oh, maybe not Jamie. Jamie isn't looking for friends right now, but I'll be a friend. So, what do you think? Y'all want to be friends?
Well, I guess pitch me, right? Right? What does friendship look like?
Sure, yeah. Well, here's what I was thinking. See, me and Jamie, we talked it over. And we're very much in need, you see. And I think if we had friends that we could count on, well, they'd let us borrow their car, everything they've got in it. Just make sure we get where we're going. What do you think, friend?
Where are you trying to go? Is it
Ah,
someplace
you know.
close?
We gotta get all over the place, really.
All over the place.
That's right. So what do you think? Are we friends? Now, Jamie wants you to say no. I want you to say yes.
Maybe we could settle on like acquaintances where we're still getting to know each other and we're working out
Sure,
like what
yeah.
terms of business might look like. But I mean, you're welcome to anything we have in the car, but I can't speak to the car. You see, it's not my car. It
Oh.
doesn't belong to me, so I can't give it away
Sure.
to anyone else.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. See, I'm a
Well, we got
reasonable
spare clothes
guy.
in the back.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
I'll pop
good.
the trunk for you if you wanna check out the spare clothes.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get to that. Jamie, what you think? And he leans on top of the car. Now at this point, Rose on the side opposite where Justin is sitting. This figure looms in, these large gold frame, pink lens sunglasses pressed right up against the glass, and just taps the window with the barrel of the Uzi. I don't think that's gonna get it done. I don't know, I'm too lonely to not have friends. I don't even know what an Aquatitus is. And Justin, now looking at this large, distended belly filling the majority of the window that's been shattered, you see this mask again loom into view. Bad news, friend. I don't know if that's gonna work out, but I tell you what we will do. You seem like good folks. And doesn't look like any of your friends here have caused us any major issues in this process. We're not unreasonable. Justin, I'd like for you to make an effort to influence your menacers' better judgments here.
Okay. All right. And I don't suppose we could make this a diplomacy roll, because really what I've tried to do is kind of set them at ease and
I would be happy to give you diplomacy on this. Yes, sure.
I would appreciate that greatly. Because that is a 14 diplomacy.
Pulls the mask up where the exposed neck hole is basically pressed to the upper portion of the hairline hanging onto the back of the scalp. This individual's face now boasting this wildly uncontrolled mustache, extremely beady eyes, and this pudgy pair of cheeks sitting comfortably around a rather small nose comparatively. But as soon as the mask comes up, this waft of alcohol hits you, and definitive lack of any kind of personal hygiene as the exposed thrust of the clothing now becomes parallel with the window, nearly overpowering the sentiment from such range, but keeping it together. He stares you deep in the eye for a brief moment. Jamie, I like them. These are good people. Looks over at you, Rose, very up and down in a fashion. Catches sight of your arm. Plus, they're tough. Looks like we aren't the first ones to negotiate there with them. Jamie? Shrewd negotiators, these ones. He reaches down towards his side, pulls out a small walkie-talkie. Vehicle's trash. Not a lot of miles left on it. We're gonna take some supplies and be over there. Give us 5 minutes. You see him secure the walkie-talkie back to his hip. Arthur and Josie, you now hear this communication come across the walkie. What would you like to do?
Yeah, told you we didn't have much, but we appreciate you and yours doing right by us.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're not looking to cause you any problems. Just gotta look out for ours. Tell you what. Let me have a look-see at that magazine again there, friend.
Pull out the empty mag.
Hands you back the pistol with the slide open. See? We can be friends.
I put the magazine back in, close the slide, tuck it. Never did get your name, friend.
Cassidy. They don't have any ammo in the gun they've got up here. I'll be coming to you. I tell you what. This is gonna be over real quick. It's gonna be over real easy. Nobody's gonna leave here hurt. What I need you to do is you're gonna go ahead and follow me back to that car you got parked over there. We're gonna get you on your way after we've gotten what we need. Easy, right?
Easy peasy.
That's right, Art. I knew we could be friends. What about you, Josie? Can we still be friends? Ah, sure we can. Come on now.
Shh, of course. I would
All right,
love nothing
that's the spirit.
more.
So with
We
Bill
got 'em.
Cassidy, they must be the Sundance Kids.
Well, probably a little old and unkempt to be kids, but, you know, some of them like dancing, I suppose.
Hmm.
Tell you what, we'll all have our own celebration going on after we all part ways peacefully, yeah?
All peaceful like.
That's right, Art. That's right.
Do I believe anything this person is saying? When he says we're not going to leave hurt, that's cool, but are we going to leave dead?
I
I feel like those might not equate the
to apply
same.
your sociological understanding to Cassidy's.
I don't think that's going to be super great for me
instructions.
either. It's not, but that's okay. Roll. Oh, okay. 6.
Cassidy has a very unusually calm demeanor for this type of activity. It seems not like his first time having orchestrated something like this. The barricade has a third vehicle to reinforce being rammed through. There are things you're noticing on the front two portions of the bumpers of the vehicles. Now, this is not the first time, and it's not the second time. And you don't notice any other vehicles around. They seem rather well equipped. To what extent that's likely to result in being injured probably has a lot to do with how much you resist, as they seem to have oiled this machine very well. But he hasn't overtly expressed anything that you'd probably qualify as hostile.
Okay. I mean, but okay. I'm following Art's lead.
Okay. So, Josie.
Yeah.
As soon as your split-second read of Cassidy gives you a sense of temporary ease, you turn around to begin following as Art falls in line as well. And they are off to the side of the road now, with your eyes readjusting back to the dark. There appears to be a small scattering of objects, almost as if something tumbled out of a cooler, a large red iceberg-style cooler from the 80s, seemingly tucked open with various cans strewn about, mostly garbage that you can readily identify. But pointed barrel towards the road, slightly obscured in some of the debris and dirt just offside, you see the upper portion protruding through, just visible on the road's edge, a small revolver pointing in your direction. Not held, not immediately or easily even observable, but they're on the roadside. Cassidy begins pushing back and walking towards the vehicle, providing you a very, very brief window to surreptitiously secure it if you would like to try and do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm going to. Yep. I'm gonna just try to, as much as I can, because Art's ahead of me. I'm gonna try to position myself in a way that he might kind of obstruct the view a little bit. But I'm going to be as graceful as I can and try to just delicately and oh god, I don't know what to do with it after. I'm gonna follow Art's lead. I'm gonna tuck it in the band of my pants and the small of my back.
Okay.
If I can get it.
I would like for you to make an effort to be as graceful as possible. Actually, as a matter of fact, Art, I'm going to say you can make an effort to influence his attention. Provide Josie some additional benefit here if you'd like to do that.
Okay.
All right. Table. That's a 0.
Okay.
That's a 6 for me. Oh no, please.
So, as Art sees you begin to slightly veer off, just catching the periphery of your vision, you get a sense of what's going on and immediately try to think about how you can aid or provide cover for Josie's slight segue, not really knowing what she's even going for, even as you haven't seen or laid eyes on this. And you almost get this immediate sense that he's about to turn around and check on the both of you, despite his casual demeanor and almost lurch up to the opposite side to try and capture his attention, but in a way that both startles and surprises him to the extent that by the time you've moved to the edge of the roadside, despite doing so quietly for the most part, Josie, he sees you leaning down and brandishing a small revolver just at the edge of the roadside. And there's this brief moment where you and Cassidy lock eyes, Arthur. All right, Art.
All right.
You really shouldn't just leave these laying around.
Pulls out the walkie-talkie. They're not playing ball.
Nope, we're playing. Oh shit! All right, I want
And immediately goes to draw his pistol.
Side of the road are we? How close to like the cliff edge are we?
He was walking down the approximate middle of the road.
Okay. All right. Well, as I see him start to reach, I just want to exercise some just straight fitness and just bull rushing and just shoulder check straight into his back.
All bad.
Not trying to fight. More like I'm hitting a door. A somewhat dirty, squishy door.
Ew.
I'm gonna say that if you're trying to inherently impede, this is gonna have to be a brawling effort. You're not gonna athlete your way into a scramble in close range.
Music.
Oh no. Hey.
So as you see Arthur lunge towards Cassidy,
Oh my God.
you immediately see the two of them go into this struggle, at which point you see Arthur get cold cocked on the side of the head with the butt of the pistol that he's carrying. Immediately jumps on Arthur's back, grabbing and pulling on the collar of the shirt and sticking the gun directly to the back of Arthur's head. Now you wanted to play games, huh? They're playing games! And immediately as Jamie and your yet unnamed assailant, Rose and Justin, back at the car, you almost hear this slight giggle from your side of the car, Rose. The larger individual wearing the mask comes back and leans into the window once more. Hey, friend, I got some bad news. And begins pulling on the car door handle. Why don't you go ahead and get on out for us?
Reminder that the doors are locked. But of course, I don't have a window, so you know.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. What seems to be the matter?
I need you to get out right fucking now.
Okay. All right.
Are you getting out?
I'm gonna just kind of look over at Rose, and I will begin to step out on my side of the car. I can't really keep him from getting into the car. The car keys are currently in my pocket.
Okay. The gold glasses and pink lenses again peer into view. There's this smile that creeps across Jamie's face, teeth blackened and yellow, for the first time letting this semblance of aloof happiness almost creep in. Come on out. Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on. Get out!
Okay. Just gonna, like, shaking to my core, open this door. And really slowly step out.
Okay. As soon as you do, you see Jamie kind of casually close the door with his offhand. That's real nice. Good job. Get behind the car.
Did you want to see the trunk? Yeah, I told you there's some clothes in there. I'll show it to you.
We'll get what's in the trunk. Oh, sure. We'll sure get what's in the trunk. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll walk over and pop open the trunk, and there's a pair of pants and a shirt folded up and some sneakers, all of them with blood on them.
Oh. Why don't you go ahead and climb in? Kicking back over to Arthur and Josie, you feel this grip tightening, the barrel of the gun from Cassidy pressing into your back. It didn't have to be like this. I told you I wanted to be friends, Art.
We
We
want to
could
be
have been
friends.
friends. Oh no. Drop that gun right now.
You drop yours.
I will kill him in front of you, and then I will blow you away. Drop your gun.
Josie, take the picture.
Be fucking cool now. We were friends before this.
This is a Mindy to Tony question. Does take the picture mean take the picture, or does it mean something else?
It means something else.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'm going to slowly look like I'm readjusting to grab my camera, and I don't know how many shots this thing has. I'm hoping it has at least one. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but he can't make the shot, so I gotta hit him. But I'm gonna approach as I'm hit him, and I'm hoping that if I can get there fast enough, if I hit him, I can shove him off before he can shoot Art.
Okay.
Oh my god, my head feels like this.
Game master. In my time in the military and my training, is there anything in there that would prepare me for a situation like this?
On the flat of your stomach, secured by a mounted opponent with a lethal round already pressed into vital organs, it's about as dire as it gets. You would have training to try to account for removing your assailant, but you'd be talking about vastly overwhelming odds here.
All right, Cassidy. We can all still be friends. And all still go real smooth.
Josie, what are you looking to do?
I'm gonna give him one more chance to give any indication that he's going to heed any of Arthur's words. And if he doesn't, I'm taking the shot. If I can, I'll take two just to make sure. I know that's bad. That's bad resource management, but it doesn't matter. If I can, I'll take two. I don't know how many bullets I have. I don't know if I have any bullets. I don't know how revolvers work.
Okay.
I am taking a
It's going
shot.
really well.
So
I'm not panicking. You're
make
panicking.
an effort to accurately put a round on target.
Ugh.
Not great. 9.
Okay. Holding the camera and the revolver together, kind of take some slow steps forward, not letting go of your camera, almost instinctually kind of putting them both up at the same time. Pressing your hands together. Art, from the smush side of your face, you see Josie beginning to slowly lower to the ground. When you shoot her that telltale wink and suggestive line. And as you see the hand come off the camera, immediately both hands pushing forward, sticking the revolver out. Josie almost looking away at the last second. And you hear a click. Well, Art, looks like maybe we're not friends after all.
Oh, Cassidy, it would look that way.
And you hear a loud shot ring out. Arthur, what are your final words?
Just one word. I look up at Josie. Live. People live close to death, and when death comes closer than usual, thinking about survival leaves little room for anything else. I lived as best as I could. I loved as best as I could. And I tried to stay alive as best as I could. It seems those things have failed me. I hope I at least made an impression on a few folks. And this is where I leave you.
To those of you out there surviving, stay safe. Stay alive.